Hi, everybody. This is Laurie Ann, creator and host of the MOOBment podcast. Before we begin, one quick note. While recording my conversation with today's guest, Rachel Mansfield, we were interrupted by severe weather alerts, including flash floods and tornado warnings. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see that we had to relocate more than once. And you may notice a few brief audio or video interruptions along the way. Through it all, I have to tell you, Rachel was incredibly generous, patient, and positive. She's not only an inspiring, successful entrepreneur and a fellow Moob, but truly one of the nicest, kindest people you'll ever meet. So if you enjoyed this conversation, be sure to check out Rachel's cookbooks and follow her on social media. You'll find links on our website. Thanks so much for your understanding, and now enjoy my conversation with Rachel Mansfield.
Oh boy, here we go, raising sons and watching them grow. Every story, every win, we're in this life through thick and thin. From first steps to letting go, we're cheering loud, we are front row. Welcome to the movement, come along, where all boy moms belong.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the MOOBment. I am the creator and the host of the show, Laurie Ann, and I'm so glad you're here with us today. We are going to get right to it because my guest today is Rachel Mansfield, and I'm very excited to talk to Rachel, a young woman who is a mother of only boys. Yes, she is a Moob, and she is quite a success. So today we are going to find out a little bit more about Rachel, about what she does, what she plans to do, and celebrate the fact that her newest cookbook is available and now on the market. So Rachel, welcome to the MOOBment.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here and also learn about the movement. It's such a cute name. It's so much better than Boy Mom.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I have a t-shirt which is on the way to you, which
Thank
basically
you.
is my Moob t-shirt, and it says the word Boy Mom crossed out and Moob underneath it because we are rebranding.
I love that. Amazing. I can't wait to wear it.
We are mothers of only boys, and we are an identity in ourselves. So
Yes.
I realized in prepping for the show that if I had a daughter, which we all know that I do not, you could be my daughter in more ways than one, which makes me feel a little bit old, but I have a little bit of experience behind me, so I'm just going to channel that for now.
I love it. Okay.
Yeah. So we want to talk about everything you've done, but let's first talk about how you got to where you are. So why don't you take us back to Rachel growing up, Rachel in your home as a young girl. What was life like around the dinner table and in Rachel's world back then?
Oh my God, I haven't thought about my childhood in a while. So growing up, my mom always had a home cooked meal for us. So around the dinner table, like it was something likely my mom made, unless my dad was traveling. If he was, then, we'd get like something fun like Chinese takeout or, some fried chicken or like something my dad didn't really want to eat. And as a kid, my parents always say I was a really easy child, like went to school, did her homework, like was cooperative. I'd run errands with my mom. Like I was always attached to my mom's hip, like all the time. And my brother's more of like the athlete, like likes to get down and dirty, like was like riding dirt bikes and doing everything with my dad, and his sports talk took up a lot of the dinner talk at the table, not gonna lie.
Which you probably didn't realize would come so in handy for down the road, right?
I know. It's funny because my dad always says, he actually said this to me last night. We were FaceTiming with my kids, and he was like, did you ever think you'd have 3 boys? And I was like, honestly, no, I never thought that I would have 1 boy. Like, it's 9.
As a matter of fact, I was going to ask you about that because most of the moobs that I speak with think about it and say, when they think back, they say, I always just assumed I'd have a daughter.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd know what to do with a son. And this was just the way it worked out. So did you think about it at all? Did you envision yourself with girls and cooking in the kitchen with a daughter?
I always like played house growing up and like loved like living out, like dreaming of my fantasy and like what my life would be like as an adult and all of that. And then when I got pregnant with my first, Ezra, I got pregnant with him. I found out he was a boy and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Cause like I'm the oldest. So I just assumed I'd have a girl first. My husband is one of two boys. And so I was like, oh, all right, that's cool. And then I found out my middle son was a boy and I was actually unwell. Like I walked out of my apartment in Hoboken. I was like, I need a moment. Like, this is not what I anticipated. And then when I got pregnant with Cooper, my youngest, I like wanted a third boy. And I'm like, cause I knew that like, okay, this is my groove. This is like, I know what I'm doing. And then Jordan and I were just like, my husband, we're like, of course Cooper's a boy. Like, that's like what we're like, that's like we produce men. Like, that is like what we do in our family. But no, I never thought that I would. And the hardest part though, when I was pregnant with Cooper is like everyone being like, are you hoping for the girl? And I'm like, I'm going to put a bag over my head. Like, I can't deal with it because one of my biggest pet peeves is when people assume, and it goes both ways with moms that have all girls and moms that have all boys. Like it's almost like people think it's the same thing 3 times. I'm like, I can't even explain to you how different all 3 of my boys are. Like my oldest is like very academic, like very serious, doesn't really really hyper
Typical
focused.
Firstborn.
Yeah. And like my middle son is like a mush pot, like tells me how beautiful I am and like wants to run errands with me and like is like gentle and calm. And then my youngest is like wild. And he's almost like someone riding one of those like the horses that like rock back and forth. Like he's unhinged. And so I'm like, everyone's so different.
So you were young, you were 19 when you met your husband. I was 19 when I met my husband. Was it love at first sight?
Yeah, it was, which is funny because I was not looking for a serious partner. I was not looking to be in a relationship. I was like not interested. And I was a sophomore in college. I went to Muhlenberg. So it's a really small liberal arts college. So you kind of know everyone like walking around, like you see familiar faces. And he was standing in front of the refrigerator at a like pregame party. And my first words to him were, is there more beer in the fridge, like behind him? And then we just like started talking. And then we were like inseparable since then. It was crazy. But we were so young. Like I've never been on a date, like besides Jordan. Like he's like my first, like I had a boyfriend in high school, but like that was like not serious. But he's my first like serious relationship.
It's amazing. I think there's something to be said when you get started like that so early and you grow together. And especially now because you've developed this business and these cookbooks that we'll talk about. And, that he was there with you for the journey and you just evolved and did it together, which is really special.
Thanks. Yeah, it actually like it really is special to like watch each other like grow and like blossom in a lot of ways. We're like, I've gone through my like ups and downs in my career and like so has Jordan and like we've really like watched each other like mature a lot too over the last 16 years. So, and also it's like it makes us closer like with each of our parents. Like I'm super close with my mother-in-law. Jordan's really close with my parents and like it's like very special because like they like watched us grow. Like my in-laws like have seen me since I was 19. Like they've cared for me. Like my father-in-law, my mother-in-law have cared for me like I'm their own.
Yeah, I think if I heard correctly, you lived with them, your in-laws, for a bit.
I did.
Yes. Tell me about that.
My parents.
Did you say you said Jordan's one of 2 boys, so your mother-in-law is a moob as well, correct?
She is. She had 2 sons and 4 grandsons until she had a granddaughter, which was like her first like through her bloodline.
I'll bet she welcomed you with open arms.
She did. I'm very, very fortunate. My mother-in-law is like patient, kind, loving. Like she's not annoying like to me. Like I'm very close with her. I don't know a lot of my friends who would like call their mother-in-law to like say hello like I do. But you know, it comes with like its ups and downs because I also treat her like my own mom. So like I'm like snippy and like tell her like how I feel. And it's not just like I feel like when you meet your partner when you're older, you're a little bit more guarded to your in-laws. Like you're not gonna like be like unhinged. And like I'm fully unhinged with my in-laws. So it's good and bad. But I lived with them the summer after I graduated from college. My grandparents live on the same street as Jordan's parents, but we didn't know that until we went to college and like met in college, obviously. And I was living with my grandparents, and then since Jordan and I were like seriously dating, I ended up moving out of my grandparents' house and living with Jordan's parents, which my mom and dad were like, you're living with him and his mom and dad. You're like not engaged. You're not married. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm saving money before I like live in an apartment, like doing what I'm doing responsible, making responsible decisions. But I think because my parents didn't know them that well at that point, they're like, you're living with someone else. Like, what? But my in-laws got me my own closet. Like they only had one bathroom on the second floor, so I was sharing a bathroom with with my boyfriend's mom and dad, his brother, and Jordan. All of us with one toilet and one shower. And I was like the princess who had to like get ready earlier and like had priority with everything. And yeah, but they opened me with open arms.
And if your mother-in-law is anything like me, she was the happiest person alive. I bet she was, because it's kind of what we want for our daughters-in-law, especially when we don't have daughters, right? And now here you are, a next generation with 3 sons. And how nice that that's your role model. And that's what you expect from a mother-in-law, daughter-in-law relationship, which has so much negativity attached to it sometimes.
It
But
does.
here we are to prove that it's not always like that. I've had my mother-in-law, she was a guest on the podcast, and she got rave reviews, and we were who we are. And it was really a nice thing. So you tell Jordan's mom she's next on my list.
I love that. Love that. She owns her own business too. They run a flower shop on Staten Island. So
oh, wow.
That. Yeah.
All right. Well, she's my next call. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So let's go backwards now to when you started your business. I would bet young Rachel, what were you, in your 20s, I guess? Did you ever envision that you would develop the kind of entrepreneurship and business that you did back then? Or was it one stage at a time? Or did you have big dreams from the beginning?
I knew I'd have a career because my mom instilled in me at a very young age that I needed to like make my own money and support myself and don't depend on a man. And like, which is funny because my parents, knock on wood, are like very happily married. But my mom didn't work. She stayed home with my brother-in-law. With my brother and I. So she just always wanted me to be able to like support myself, God forbid, like, something ever happened. I didn't think I'd ever be an entrepreneur, truthfully, because I didn't know what that meant. I didn't have many around me. My dad worked in sales within like pharmaceuticals and like different like healthcare, pharmaceutical companies and like biotech companies.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it meant. So I just never knew it was an option. In the town that I grew up in, there was a lot of my friends who were going to be like teachers or accountants or something. And I was a double major in media communications and business administration and marketing, which is why I wanted a small school, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew I wanted to be successful. I wanted to be working, and I wanted to be able to provide for my family. So it's kind of crazy how it turned out. My mom always thought I would be a magazine editor. That was her like big dream for me.
And from what I also understand, you did get that job, whether, I don't know if it was your first job, your second job, and you got laid off.
I got fired. So there was no layoff. It was like, Rachel, you're fired. Goodbye. I was working at a beverage company in the CPG space, and I started there as the assistant to the CEO and founder. And I loved it because I had my feet on the ground. I was helping with like investor relations, marketing, sales. I was like working at Costco, handing out samples. I was traveling for the brand, but I was like very undercompensated. This is in 2013, 2014. So I wanted a side hustle of sorts. So I looked into like walking dogs and babysitting and just random things to like help me make money on the side while I had like this awesome job I was passionate about. And then I'm like, I'm going to make overnight oats. This is before overnight oats were a thing. Like no one knew what these were. And I was like, I'm going to put them in a jar and I'm going to deliver them throughout Manhattan to people and like give them a healthy breakfast. And Jordan, my husband, being more like sensible, and we were engaged at this time. He's like, why don't you just share your recipes, see if anyone gives a shit, and then if they do, we could get you a commercial kitchen. But like, I'm not like, what are you talking about? So I started sharing recipes on my website, on a website that I built, and on my Instagram account. And then around the time I had like 10,000 followers, influencers were not a thing. Instagram was like barely a thing. And my employer told me that my Instagram was me a conflict of interest, despite me getting any money from it. And I was fired. So I walked down to 7th Avenue and was like, I'm a loser. At that point, we had gotten married during the 10 to 12 months of like starting my Instagram to like when I got fired. Got married and then was like, great, I just got married. I'm unemployed and I have to pay bills. What am I going to do? My parents obviously like aren't supporting me anymore. And then I gave myself 6 months to see if I could turn my passion for making those like healthier recipes. Like, can I make this a profitable business? Like, can I actually like sustain this? And knock on wood, that was 10 and a half years ago now, which is crazy.
So do you think it was your drive, your passion for doing it? I mean, getting 10,000 Instagram followers, even in today's day, is, not an easy feat. Did you make it personal? What was it?
I think that my recipes really resonated with people because at the time there was like paleo bloggers and vegan bloggers and gluten-free bloggers. And I was just like making healthy recipes that tasted good. And I wasn't like isolating myself into like one category. So people would see my recipes for like, banana bread and then like a dinner idea and then, obviously my overnight oats and different oatmeal ideas. And they're like, oh, if she can make that, like I can make that too. And I'm also not like a chef or a nutritionist. I'm just like an everyday kind of like I'm an everyday mom who just cooks. And so I think that really made people feel like, ooh, I could do that. This is attainable.
Yeah, it's interesting because sometimes if they see themselves in you, it makes people feel like they can do it too. And that's really kind of all you need. So that really kind of worked, and that's great. And then you pivoted and you did put out a cookbook, which was awesome. And I have to tell you, I actually have the cookbook here, the first one. It's called Just the Good Stuff. And I have little notes in here because I made several of these recipes already.
And they were really,
throwback. Yeah, this is the old one. Can you believe that? So there are a couple, there is a recipe for overnight oats and I did try that and it was excellent. What got me were two things, just for everybody out there listening. The granola was amazing. So I'm a big granola eater and the granola I eat is probably not the healthiest granola. So I figured, all right, let me try this and see. It's probably not going to be so great. It was amazing.
Thank
you.
I
loved your granola. That was amazing.
In my new cookbook, More Please, which honestly is so much better than Just the Good Stuff. Like no one's harder on themselves than yourself, right? I have a chocolate chip cookie granola and it's so good. We make it all the time. I'm a big granola person. Like I can't eat yogurt if it doesn't have like chunks of like granola in it. It's amazing. So I'm excited for you to try that one.
Oh, I can't wait.
That sounds great. It's cost effective to make your own because you can make so much. And I feel like when I open a bag of granola from the store, I open it and it's like half of it's empty.
Right. And not only that, but like you wonder why it stays as long as it does because it must be full of preservatives. When you make it yourself, you just know what's in it. You know that it's healthy. Before we move on to the next cookbook and what other ventures you've done, I have to just make reference to my mama Alyssa's enchilada pie because we were talking about your mother-in-law and this is your mother-in-law's recipe.
Yeah, my mother-in-law and my mom both have recipes in that book, and they also both have recipes in my new book too. And I wanted each of them to feel like a special part of my cookbook because like if it wasn't for their cooking, like, you know, when I was living with my in-laws and obviously like my mother raising me, like it played a big part in like my passion for food. And so I wanted each of them to have like a recipe in each of the books. So the enchilada pie, I think, is like so unique and something that's like such a like different type of dinner recipe to make. And then in my new cookbook, my mother-in-law's name is Alyssa. Alyssa has they're like lemony. It's oh my God, it's so many things going on. So it's a lemony kale spaghetti with Parmesan garlic chicken meatballs, and they are so good. So I never even knew like a chicken meatball existed before my mother-in-law, and like they are amazing. And also like all my recipes are gluten-free friendly, which is great too. And my mom like is a very good baker. And in my first book, she has a mandel bread. And then in my second book, she has an ooey gooey apple blondie recipe, which is like out of this world. And she always makes it for like Rosh Hashanah, like, you know, like the Jewish holidays. And it's so good. So
That's amazing.
yeah.
And so clearly they were influences on you. Do you cook with your boys? I know your boys are young, but do you get them in the kitchen? Do you get them excited to cook with you?
I really try, but they're not interested.
Really?
They're interested in sprinkles. Like I buy like I'm pretty crazy with ingredients. So like I buy dye-free sprinkles that have like spirulina and turmeric and whatever. They don't taste like it, but they're just like, you know, no artificial anything in it. And they'll love like I have like a funfetti sheet cake in More Please. And they love making that with me. But if I'm like, does anyone want to help me make quesadillas? Or like anything, Brody, my middle son, who's 5.5, is definitely the only one who would consider helping me because he's just like a little mama's boy. Like he would do it. But Ezra would be like, no, but I'll happily eat 5 of them. And Cooper would be like, no, like he's, you know.
Well, you know what? Like I said, I have a little more experience than you. My boys are now grown up. They are basically your age. I have a 37, 35, and 32-year-old. And
so the same, basically the same. Because I'm 3, 5, and 7. So
there you go. Exactly. I told you we have so many similarities. It's a little scary at this moment. But I cooked with I talk a lot about the fact that boys are really interested in sports. You know, one of the things about having boys is they don't necessarily, and every boy is different, but they don't necessarily have the same interests as you as a female and as a girl, so to speak. So, you know, our lives were a lot of sports, a lot of, you know, basketball, baseball, lacrosse, the whole deal. But I love to cook. So I always did what you did, and I try to encourage them in the kitchen. What I can tell you is they fought back a lot and whatever. As they got older, we did a lot of other things that in the, you know, cooking that they kind of engaged somewhat. Fast forward, they are all young adult chefs. They cook with their own kids. My youngest is unbelievable in the kitchen. I mean, to the point of plating and making everything beautiful. And they cook for their wives. And I am so proud of it. And as you will be one day, to see that I had that influence. And you will have that influence on them because it's do as I do. And they're watching you and they're watching you love what you do. So they're going to take it from you. And I guarantee you.
I hope so. My husband's also a really good cook. Like he's the one who taught me how to like make chicken. So he shares a bunch of chicken recipes in the book. And like my kids also see him like cooking a lot. So it's nice. Like they see that like mom and dad are like cooking together. I mean, my kids love to eat. So food is just like a huge part of our lives. Like we're renovating a kitchen right now. So we've been without a kitchen since May, which is really challenging with little boys that will eat. I'm like, great, we'll have like chips and guacamole and like random, like I don't know. But it's
that might be the next cookbook, right?
How to cook with I feel like I'm in a dorm again. I'm like cooking on a hot plate, a microwave, and I have like a toaster oven, which I made a banana bread in a toaster oven. So like, I feel like I can accomplish anything at this point.
Yeah, toaster oven and microwave, and you're good to go. You're good to go. I actually want to come back to More Please, but before we get there, talk to me a little bit. I know you did a little bit of venture capital, maybe more than a little bit. And I really want to talk about cookbooks. So tell me about the career path after Cookbook One.
Yeah. So I started investing in brands about 8 years ago. And like Hugh Kitchen, like Midday Squares, a lot of better for you CPG brands. And when I started doing that, my friends, family, like Instagram followers would be like, oh, how could I invest? And it's pretty challenging to get access to a lot of these deals. And I didn't like the like exclusivity part of it. Cause I'm like, well, I want other people to be able to like have skin in the game. I want them to be able to invest. Like they're just as passionate about this as I am. So we decided to start our own venture fund, my husband and I. It's called Great Shit Ventures. Honestly, it half started as a joke. Like that's why it's called Great Shit, because we're like, yeah, whatever. And then we're now investors in over 25 companies. And when we were running that, like, so I run like my food brand and food content site. Then we have our venture fund. And then we also have cookbooks. So there's like 3 buckets, like 3 facets to my businesses. And we wanted to find a healthy kid snack. Like I wanted something that checked all the boxes. I was standing over my counter, like cringing, packing lunch every day. And I'm like, why is no one making that like salty, crunchy, delicious snack that like is organic, made with some good quality oil, like 100% organic, like extra virgin olive oil. I really wanted protein in something. There was a lot of like boxes that I was looking for. So I was trying to find one to invest in and we could not. And after a few years of looking, I looked at Jordan. I'm like, I think we just have to do this ourselves. Like, I'm getting so frustrated. And he was like, all right, let's do it, which is how every idea is. I'm like, let's just do it. And Jordan's like, okay, sounds good.
Because what's the worst that could happen, right?
Exactly.
I mean, you know what? It's why I'm doing a podcast, Rachel. You know, just do it.
No, it's good.
What's the worst that can happen?
I really give kudos to anyone who like takes a risk, puts themselves out there, because I'd rather know that I tried and failed than like live with like what if, because then you just like don't know what could happen. So we launched cookbooks in January of this year. It took us over 3 years to get it off the ground. It was a really hard product to create. And we have 3 savory cracker flavors right now. So cheddar, sea salt, and ranch. We have 5 grams of protein. We're made with 100% organic extra virgin olive oil. We're nut free. We're the only cracker in the country that's clean label purity award certified, meaning that we actually use like the cleanest ingredients of any cracker brand, which is like a huge accomplishment for small brands like ours. We're also glyphosate free. We're kosher. Like we're basically everything but dairy free is like what I like to say.
And the one thing you can't forget, it's delicious.
Oh,
I had the ultimate taste tester here, my very picky 2-year-old granddaughter this weekend.
Oh, I love
and we opened all of the 3 boxes and she just couldn't get enough of them. And I have to tell you, I have an idea for you, Rachel, for the next cookbook, Cooking with cookbooks, because this is what we did. Here's our creativity, cooking in the kitchen. I also had my 6-year-old grandson here, and we had leftover crackers. And we left the bag open, and I needed to make them dinner. And I couldn't figure out what the heck am I going to make them for dinner. I had some chicken in the chicken breasts. And I took the crackers, and we crushed the crack. We put them in a Ziploc bag, and they crushed up the crackers. And we breaded the chicken, and we made cookbooks nuggets.
I love that.
And they were amazing. Amazing.
Did you use sea salt?
I used sea salt. That's exactly what we used. And it was absolutely delicious. So delicious that my grandkids, they dip everything in ketchup. And when I realized they ate half of the plate, and I said, don't you want ketchup? They didn't even ask for the ketchup.
Oh my God,
so good.
Like an accomplishment. My kids like drink ketchup. It's like repulsive. I make a chicken cutlet with cookbooks because my husband has celiac. So, and he's from Staten Island. So he's like, you know, like Italian cuisine is like a big part of his upbringing. And and when he was 30, he found out he had celiac. So I make sea salt cookbook chicken cutlets, and I like pan fry them. Like they're absolutely amazing. So I love that you also intuitively thought to do that, because it's the best way to also use up like crumbs, or like when crackers do go stale, or like if you're like, you open a bag and then like your child only eats half of it, which happens all the time with a snack pack of any brand. Save it, and then you could repurpose it.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, they had a great time doing the crushing, which was really great also. And I
love that.
started thinking about it. We ran out of crackers, so I'm going to go out and get some more meatballs. I mean, they would be amazing in meatballs. So that's going to be the next one.
Yeah,
We're going to make Kadoots balls.
Someone said to me, they were like, you should do a cookbook with Kadoots. It was like
Yeah.
recently someone said that to me too. So it's so funny. Yeah, we'll see.
I think it would be a big hit. Absolutely. So tell me about, okay, so then we you have the crackers, you have the venture capital, you had cookbook number 1, you have 3 young sons, and out comes cookbook number 2, hot off the press.
Yeah.
How much influence did those 3 boys have in More, Please?
100% of it. Like truly 100% of it. My first book is a lot more like, it actually has a homemade cracker recipe. It's like homemade Pop-Tarts, like cooking for one person. I wrote that book before I had Ezra, my oldest. And I gave birth to him. The book came out and I was like, this book like isn't relevant for my life a lot anymore. Like I'm cooking for myself, my husband, my child. Like, what am I doing? So by the time I had Cooper, who's now 3.5, I had given birth to Cooper. He was a couple weeks old. And I'm like, I need to write another cookbook that's like cooking for a family because like I need a survival guide and I want to like share that with other people. So I've been testing the recipes for More Please for over 3 years. It has been a very long process. I'm like so proud of this book. And it also is just like how I cook. Like it's what to make with a pound of ground meat is a chapter. Like I always have a pound of something in my freezer. What to make with a box of pasta besides like jarred sauce and pasta and cheese. Like there's so many things you can do. I make like a garlicky beef lo mein with spaghetti. Like, you know, some people will probably roll their eyes at that, but like it is so good and it's easy. So the cookbook is like recipes ready in under 30 minutes, weeknight, every night, any night dinner ideas that feed you and your family because I refuse to make more than one meal for myself, my husband, and my kids. But you can like, you know, accommodate to everyone's preferences. Like I have an any night taco bar night. So like you can make a taco salad if you want. And like, you know, your son could do it into like a taco. One could put it into a quesadilla. Like you can kind of like navigate it. Same with the pastas. Like if someone wants to lighten it up, they could put zoodles in it with, does anyone still do zoodles? Cause like I love zoodles.
I
zoodles,
still,
right. I'm like, I don't really like to dirty my spiralizer. I'm like a little lazy these days, but like you could put that in, you could put in any like, you know, miracle noodle or something that you want. And you could really just like make a meal work for everyone. And my husband is gluten-free. My middle son's gluten-free. I'm not. My other 2 sons aren't. And you know, it's a lot to navigate. And like my one son doesn't like tomatoes. Like the other one's obsessed with tomatoes. So I try to make one meal work.
and the nice thing is, you know, so many people I speak to say we just eat the same 2 things every night because we just don't know what else to make.
Yeah.
So you can, you know, use this cookbook and rip off of that and say, okay, it's nice to just like, you know, have a little variety. And, you know, you are teaching them also to like expand their palates a little bit. And, you know, so that's great. And it sounds extremely user friendly. So I can't wait to get my hands on it. It's going to be
Thank
great.
you. I'm excited. It's very swap friendly. Like if someone's dairy free, just don't use the cheese or use dairy free cheese. It's very like accommodating for preferences.
Sounds great. Sounds really perfect. Sounds like what everybody out there needs. And we will, on our Instagram and on our website, we will actually put a link so that anybody who wants to get the cookbook will know exactly how to get it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so as far as the boys and as far as you being a moob, how do you do it all? I'm sure everybody is asking this question. Here she is. She's making, you know, creating cookbooks. She is investing in businesses. She's making crackers. It's not easy. How do you do that? Juggle 3 boys, a husband, family. It sounds like you're close with your parents, your in-laws, your siblings. How do you do it all?
I pass out every night around 10 o'clock. Like truly pass out. I wake up really early, but like I've just always been someone who can handle a lot. Like when I was fired from my job, like no one was concerned. And I often will ask, like, why was no one concerned? And my mom and my dad are like, because we just have never had to worry about you. Like you're a sure bet. Like if you say you're going to do something, you just like always got it done. And I think it's like a specific personality trait as I'm learning, as I'm getting older that like, and I think that it's a positive and a negative sometimes too, where like my mentality is always like just to go, continue to grow, build, whatever. But the negative to that is like sometimes I just like can't like live in the moment and just relax a little bit and like calm down. And I think that like it's honestly my personality that makes me be able to do this. Like not everyone could do this. And honestly, like one day I'm gonna retire and I'm not gonna be contacted and everyone's gonna be like, where'd that girl Rachel go? And I'm gonna be like the class mom hanging out with my children like off of the grid. So
Rachel,
can you hear
no,
me?
you're not.
No, I lost you.
No.
Listen.
You will not, because I can tell you based on who you are happy. And I think that I can tell you, because I really do see a little bit of me in you. And I can tell you that, it sounds really wonderful to have that kind of life of just leisure. But when you're kind of type A, it's just, I mean, you find a podcast or something new to do and to challenge yourself with, because, staying home and really having my mother used to always say, it's better to have not enough time than too much time. So I think maybe you're always going to be challenged, and it may not be doing what you're doing now, but you really do seem happy. And
thanks.
Do you have help? I mean, that's the other thing we try to tell moms here, especially moms of boys, active boys, that it's okay to ask for help.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, it would be nice to have like a siesta for like a year or something. I actually I bought a personal phone on what was it, yesterday, that's coming tomorrow, because I'm like, I just need like an emergency phone so I could just shut off for like a couple hours, like on a weekend, or like I went away last week for 36 hours. The amount of times my phone went off in that 36 hours, I was like between like our Target broker, my team, I'm like, I need to just like, what? Like, what? I just want to be like isolated with my children in a cave, honestly. But my help, I have a nanny who is with us. She's with us about like 40 hours a week. So that's amazing. I would not be able to be the mom or business owner that I am without having help. It just would be impossible. My kids are busy, and like my youngest doesn't even like have activities yet, but my oldest has like travel soccer and math class and basketball team and like this after school thing. And then, it's a lot to manage. So my nanny helps us a lot with that. My husband is really helpful. Like I have a very, very hands-on husband, which is amazing. Like when I left for Bermuda for like the day and a half, I didn't like leave him anything. Like I was like, I love you, bye. Like I don't prepare a meal. I don't like stock up the house. Like, no, he knows where the grocery store is. Like he knows how to cook. Like he'll be fine. And then
he knows his mother's phone number too.
Yeah, like, self-sufficient. Like he's fine.
Yeah.
My in-laws and my parents are also both really helpful. So like my mom and dad made it very clear, like they are not full-time babysitters when I had Ezra. But like, for example, my nanny had a doctor's appointment last week and couldn't come till 3. I had like a 12 to 3 window where I had like some things for work I could not reschedule, but like, it's just a very busy time right now. And my husband was at our co-manufacturer in the Midwest making cookbooks. And so my mom's like, no problem, I'll be there. Cause like they know when I need them, like, and I'm not just like bored, like I want to watch TV, which I mean, I would love to be bored and watch TV, but they're like, my mom's like, no problem, I'll be there. No, like it's okay. My in-laws, anytime I've called my mother-in-law to babysit on like a Friday evening so I can go to an event or like go on a trip for a couple days, they're like, as long as they don't have their own plans, they don't hesitate. So like, I'm very blessed because like, I think because my mom and dad didn't have that kind of family help growing up, they like really missed that as parents. And then like my kids are obsessed with their grandparents because of that. Like every day they're like, can I call Mimi and Papa? And I'm like, sure, here's my phone. So that was a very long response, but family and my nanny are my help.
Yeah. And you know what? I can tell you again from the other side of that your parents and your in-laws treasure every second with those boys.
They do.
And you know what? It's such a special relationship to have that. And, my husband and I, we look at each other all the time and say, we are so blessed. It's just, it's special. It's a wonderful thing. And whether you realize it now or not, your boys, you're a role model for your boys, as is your husband. And you're really teaching them it's okay to value your work and value who you are. And I'm going to give you permission from me, Laurie Ann, to take some time for yourself, because self-care is important. And even, we just did an episode, which was really, really wonderful. And it was really about taking 5 minutes a day. That if you take 5 minutes a day to just close your eyes, work out, take a walk, listen to music, do something to reset yourself, it goes a really long way. So take your 5 minutes, because the world won't fall apart.
I love that, because I am a TV binger. Like every night I have to be fixated onto a new television show. And that's how I take time to myself, is honestly by zoning out on a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And I recalibrate and
we have a segment on this show called MOOBment. And I would like to keep you around for that so that we can respond to one of our listeners. And I will tell you that the MOOBment that I chose today is from a young woman named Ashley. And here is our MOOBment for today.
Oh boy, it's that time. Ooh, mail's here. Your voice meets mine. From your heart straight to our trail. Let's open up that mail.
Ashley writes, Dear Laurie Ann and Moobs of the MOOBment, I am 36 years old and I have 3 sons under the age of 8. I love being their mom, but my issue is that I also work outside the home and I hate my job. I am an accountant and I dread going to work every morning. We can't afford for me to stay home, and I know I should probably just change career paths, but I am not sure if it's too late. My friend told me I should just be grateful that I have any job at all, and maybe she's right. Am I selfish or irresponsible to think about getting a new job now? I think I would be a better person and a better mom and happier if I were doing something I love. Can you talk on the podcast about moves dealing with working and raising their boys? I wonder if anyone else is as miserable as I am. Thank you, Ashley from Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh my God, poor Ashley.
I know, right?
Get her a glass of there and hang. Ashley, just take a risk. Why be miserable? My husband was an accountant. He was miserable, so bored. Came home every day. He would come home. I'd be like, oh my God, great, he's coming. And then COVID hit and he was working in the house or in our apartment, I should say, in Hoboken. Mm-hmm. He saw how I would get up every day and be excited about what I did. And he was sitting at his desk, punching numbers, and it's great. Some people thrive in that environment, which is great. But if you have a passion, find it. Or if you have a passion, or if you don't have a passion, I would say to find it. Why not have a career pivot? Corporate America and accounting, nonetheless, is going nowhere. Try something new. You just keep your CPA license, if that's applicable for you, active while you try something new, and just put yourself out there. Why not?
Absolutely. I totally agree. And I was laughing a little bit that she said, I'm 36. Is it too late? And I'm thinking 36 is so young. You have your whole life ahead of you, Ashley. And there are lots of things you can do without sacrificing your career. I myself am a CPA. I was a CPA. I am a CPA, and I worked in accounting. In a very short time, I realized I'm a people person. This is not going to work. So I pivoted into becoming a headhunter, an executive recruiter for accounting and finance people. I dealt with people all the time. So I'm going to throw that at you.
Yeah.
Do something related if you feel you need to, and go find your joy, because you shouldn't be miserable and unhappy.
I agree. It's also helpful to talk to an executive career coach of sorts to what to do. My husband went through this. He didn't know what to do. He was I'm miserable. What am I supposed to do with this job? And it's helpful to just talk about it.
Yeah.
And, figure something out.
Great advice. Great advice. I hope that helps you, Ashley. Rachel, this has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for joining me. Rachel is on the road. So if everybody wants to look at, where is it listed on your website, on your Instagram, where you'll be speaking?
Yeah, it's on my website, rachelmansfield.com, which honestly is a good starting place to find all my social platforms, my cookbooks, cookTips, my newsletter. Everything is it's rachelmansfield.com is the hub. And there's no E in Rachel in my brand, but I do have an E in my name. So
That's interesting. Okay. Was that on purpose or was it an accident that you just ran with?
my Gmail in high school was like rachelmansfield.com. And like I said, when I was posting recipes, I didn't think anyone was going to give a shit. So I just kept that name and then it just kept going. And then now I'm like, it's fine.
I love that. It sets you apart. So why not? I love
Exactly.
that. Yeah, absolutely. That's great. And I personally will see you at Kohler in New Jersey.
I love it.
So
you.
we will meet in person, which is really exciting. And I can't wait to get my hands on your cookbook
I can't wait.
and tell everybody else to do the same. And I thank you for joining us. And we are going to end this podcast the way we always do. So here's my advice for everybody. It is hug your boys, trust your instincts, and remember that we're all boy moms and those who love us belong is right here.